happening now. First at noon, HFD crews are battling a wildfire near the H-1 Freeway in West Oahu. Check out this video sent in from a viewer. You can see how close those flames got to the westbound lanes by the Eva off-ramp. Right now, the far right westbound lane of the H-1 along with the Kunia and Eva off-ramps are closed. The Transportation Department says the Kunia on-ramp is also closed at this time. Now, there is heavy smoke in the area, so visibility may be poor for drivers. No word of any evacuations, threat to structures, or injuries, but we will keep monitoring the situation and pass along any new details as we get them. And we have blustery conditions in our forecast today, which is not helpful for the firefight. Let's send it over to meteorologist Drew Davis for the latest. Drew.
Aloha, Ashley, and even with the beneficial rainfall that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, we still have very dry brush fuels out there. You can take a look at our winds outside right now. 18-mile-per-hour sustained winds in town. That's measured at the airport. It's still pretty breezy over on the west side of Oahu. We've also seen wind gusts approaching 30 miles per hour in town, 25, and over on Maui County closer to 30 to 35 miles per hour. So pretty breezy. As we're going forward throughout the rest of this evening, we are going to be seeing the winds get to around 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained winds this afternoon, still hanging around that speed as we're going into around 5 and 6. As we go into the overnight, we'll see winds weaken to around 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the east-northeast around Saturday morning. Still breezy out there as we're going into Saturday afternoon. You also notice a few windward showers are trying to make their way over the Ko'olau mountain range. Hopefully we see a little bit of this rainfall making its way over to the Ewa Plain and the west side of Oahu. You see at the end of this satellite scan, I'm not exactly sure, but that may be smoke that we're picking up on the radar. We've been able to detect a couple of wildfires that way recently on our first alert radar and satellite. We also have some more moisture that's moving in just upstream of Oahu, so hopefully we'll see some more rainfall out there. You can also see in the first alert futurecast going forward, we've got more moisture moving in tonight, mostly over the windward and northern portions of Oahu. Hopefully we'll see some rainfall that'll help that firefight. I'll give you a full breakdown of our full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Drew. The Department of Justice now has 30 days to release all unclassified Epstein files after President Trump announced he signed the legislation late last night, despite victims saying they wanted to be present. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
With the bill to release the Epstein files signed into law, the Attorney General has 1 month to produce unclassified and investigative documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell.
We'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
That could include flight logs, interviews, and the names of individuals, including government officials referenced in connection with Epstein's criminal activities and plea agreements. But the legislation also includes a provision that allows the DOJ to temporarily withhold information that could jeopardize any active federal investigation. Last week, President Trump ordered a new probe into Democrats associated with Epstein. Some lawmakers worry that could delay the release of some files.
We think every name should come out, everything. There should be no cover-up.
Reporters asked Attorney General Pam Bondi what triggered the new probe, despite the DOJ's comments back in July that no additional investigations were warranted.
Information that has come for there's information that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads.
Tom Dupree is a former federal prosecutor.
Obviously, they have had prior investigations. They have had prior criminal proceedings arising from this. So presumably, they've already plowed this ground fairly extensively. That said, it's always possible that new information could come to light.
Epstein survivors have said they want maximum transparency and the entirety of the files, not bits and pieces or mass redactions. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Army has contacted more than 1,400 women seen by a former Tripler Army Medical Center gynecologist accused of secretly videotaping his patients. Allegations came to light after an anonymous patient treated by Dr. Blaine McGraw in Fort Hood, Texas, filed a lawsuit last week. It alleges McGraw inappropriately touched his patients, made crude remarks, and performed unnecessary procedures. One alleged victim includes a patient from Tripler Army Medical Center, where McGraw worked from 2019 to 2023 as both an intern and resident OB-GYN. The Army says so far nearly 90 patients have reached out to the Criminal Investigation Division, but it's unclear how many were victims of misconduct. To help potentially impacted patients, the Army says it has created a dedicated call center, assigned special victims counsel, and created a patient support line. Dr. McGraw is currently suspended while the investigation continues. His attorney says he believes the Army special agents are providing inaccurate and exaggerated information to potentially influence the outcome of the case. Surveillance video shows multiple crimes in West and Central Oahu have one thing in common. Dylan Ancheta has the clues and an eyewitness account from a night of recklessness.
A number of residents across several Oahu neighborhoods have come forward to report a crime spree by unknown suspects. Now, they say these suspects are casing homes and stealing items, and they also believe that the vehicle used is the common link between all of these incidents. The apparent owner of this dark Ford truck said it was stolen from the Waikele area. Then around 2 a.m. Sunday, Gerald Malunau saw the crooks in the act.
Just kicking back watching TV, then I hear a lot of ruckus outside in our parking lot. Hear a lot of yelling. So I peek out my window and then I see lights blazing out and stuff and people scattering.
He said multiple suspects were in the truck when the driver revved the engine and slammed into another vehicle with a family inside. The suspects then drove off erratically.
These guys they're pretty bold and crazy.
Over the last few days, residents in other neighborhoods reported seeing the same truck involved in burglaries. A Mililani man caught it on his street and said the suspects were trying to steal a license plate from his neighbor's vehicle. Another victim who didn't want to go on camera said $7,000 worth of her son's tools were taken in the Ho'opili area.
It feels like there's nowhere safe on Hawaii. There's nowhere safe no matter where you go. Coming from my car to this side, thinking is going to be a much better place. All the cameras in our buildings thought it would be safer. I was wrong.
The truck's owner said it was recovered sometime overnight Tuesday in Kapolei, but still, the shameless criminal activity has made many residents uneasy.
All this thing going on with the government shutdown and stuff and people being so desperate for money and I just think that it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Nobody's taking accountability. Nobody's really trying to really put an end to this.
HPD confirmed multiple cases are active and investigators are looking into possible connections. They encourage people to secure their homes and install security systems to deter criminals. Now, if anyone has any information on the suspects or even surveillance video, you should contact HPD. In Kapolei, I'm Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
The Polynesian Voyaging canoes Hokulea and Hikianalia were welcomed in Aotearoa this week. Mahealani Richardson and photojournalist John Suyat traveled to New Zealand and have this first in a series of reports.
Hokulea and Hikianalia are now at the dock next to the New Zealand Maritime Museum in Auckland. Then in February, they'll go into dry dock for maintenance and to wait out the cyclone season. The crews offload Polynesian Voyaging canoes Hokulea and Hikianalia with Auckland's iconic more than 1,000-foot sky tower less than a mile away. Earlier that day, they arrived in the City of Sails for a welcome into a modern city that's rooted in British and Polynesian culture. At Oahu Bay, members of the Ngati Watua Orake tribe paddled their waka, canoe, as both Maori and Hawaiian leaders recognized ties and relationships across the Pacific, called Moana Nui a Kiwa.
We accept humbly as the youngest tribe, and we accept with the understanding that we have so much to learn.
This is one day in which we take another step as a family to come and be what we are, kind and peaceful and caring, based on those values of families, based on the love of our homeland.
About 200 people attended a traditional pofiti welcome ceremony, including Debbie Nakanilua Richards, Hawaiian Airlines Director of Community and Cultural Relations. From Samoa to South Africa, she's witnessed many hokulea arrivals.
This relationship that Hawaiian Airlines has with the Polynesian Voyaging Society, and in particular hokulea, has been this love affair. We were one of the first supporters that started back in 1975 when the canoe was first being built.
Sister canoe Hiki Analia has one more stop in Aurere, the homeland of late Maori pole master navigator and waka builder Sir Hector Busby.
Next year, the canoes plan to sail to Micronesia and the Philippines. Reporting from Auckland, I'm Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Mahea. Ahead on This Is Now, we'll take you to Washington, D.C. for memorial services for former Vice President Dick Cheney. Plus this.
September's long-delayed jobs report is finally out, showing hiring up, but unemployment rising too. I'm Evan Moon with what these older numbers mean for the economy right now.
Back to that breaking news we brought you at the top of the show. Firefighters are battling a wildfire near the H-1 Freeway in West Oahu. This is a live look from the scene. Our crew is on Kunia Road, and you can see HFD crews shooting down hot spots and just how close those flames got to the roadway. Right now, the far right westbound lane of the H1 along with the Kunia and Eva off-ramps are closed. The Transportation Department says the Kunia on-ramp is also closed. Now, there is still heavy smoke in the area, so visibility may be poor for drivers. There's no word yet of any evacuations, threat to structures, or injuries, but we will keep monitoring the situation and pass along any new details as we get them. Funeral services were held today for former Vice President Dick Cheney. Hundreds of mourners gathered at Washington's National Cathedral to pay their final respects. Former Presidents Joe Biden and George W. Bush, along with 4 former vice presidents, attended. Daughter Liz Cheney eulogized her father as a devoted American who always put the country first. Former President Bush delivered the eulogy, honoring his vice president as a colleague and a friend.
He knew you couldn't truly appreciate what it means to live in freedom if you didn't understand the sacrifices of the generations who came before. And he made sure that his children and grandchildren understood this too.
We are grateful for his good life, we honor his service, and we pray that somewhere up the trail, we will meet him again.
The White House says President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance were not invited to the services. The president also did not issue a public statement after Cheney's death earlier this month. Then Congresswoman Liz Cheney became one of Trump's harshest Republican critics after the January 6th Capitol riots. We're getting a late look at September's jobs report, delayed more than a month by the government shutdown. And now it's raising fresh questions about the economy's direction. Evan Moon has the latest numbers from the Labor Department.
The first jobs report since the government shutdown shows employers added 119,000 jobs in September, more than double expectations and the strongest growth since April. Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says while it points to a slightly better hiring trend, there's more to the numbers.
119,000 jobs would have been considered somewhat lackluster when the economy was going great guns, when we were getting 200,000, 250,000 jobs added a month, when we considered the job market to be red hot.
Notably, September's unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, the highest since 2021.
It's a very mixed story. It takes fewer jobs added to keep the unemployment rate steady or from going up even substantially more.
Even old data can sway the Federal Reserve. CBS News analyst Jill Schlesinger says this report will factor into its upcoming decision on rate cuts.
Well, the Fed's going to watch this pretty closely, and I think that there are two problems that the Fed has right now. They are seeing a labor market slowdown at the same time that they are seeing prices accelerate. The December meeting is completely in play. They could cut by 1/4 percentage point, and then again, they might hold steady and wait for more data to come rolling in.
The Fed won't have fresh data from the Labor Department before its next meeting. Because of the shutdown, there won't be a full October jobs report. Some data will be lumped in with the November report, due out in late December. Evan Moon, CBS News, New York.
Stick around. Coming up after the break, we've got your full first alert forecast. We're still tracking that fire out on West Oahu. Windward showers and breezy trades continue. The details coming up.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Here's a quick look at our first alert weather headlines and what we're tracking. Again, we are watching that fire out on West Oahu and seeing how it evolves over the next couple of hours, especially with the blustery trades. We've got windward showers out there, hoping a couple of these sprinkles make their way over to the leeward portions of the island. Breezy trades also continuing today, getting weaker as we're heading into the weekend. Let's just break down how dry the brush fuel is outside. This is a variable called the Keach-Byram Drought Index. It's a tool weather forecasters around the world used to measure how dry the brush is, and we're still at a very high fire risk out there. Especially, this is measured at the airport every day, around 708. The highest you can go is around 800. The normal is around 521. So typically around this time of year we're starting to be on the decline, but still we haven't received enough rainfall to really help out with the drought conditions that we're seeing. So hopefully we'll get a big rainfall event coming up soon to help out with the ongoing drought. Our winds outside right now, east northeasterlies between 15 to 20 miles per hour. In town, still pretty breezy out there, a little bit breezier over in Kahului. And as we're going into the overnight or into this afternoon, you're going to continue to see these winds get a little bit weaker, between 15 to 20 miles per hour across the state. And going into Saturday around 1 a.m., we'll see humidity rise, and we'll also see the winds get to around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So if the fire is still ongoing and going into past sunset, the conditions will improve out there for the firefight. You can also see more moisture is moving in along the trades. This is tonight around 11 p.m. You're seeing more moisture over the windward side of Oahu, also up near Kahuku and Haleiwa. Heavier rainfall expected over the windward side of Kauai as we're going into the overnight. Less rainfall expected out there as we're going into Friday and Saturday. Lighter winds are also expected on Saturday and Sunday as a weak front is going to be moving in. You can also see in our first alert radar and satellite not a ton of rainfall over on Hawaii Island. Yesterday we were seeing some cloud cover and some heavy showers. A little bit drier over Maui County, not seeing much over Molokai. It's breezy enough to where we are seeing those wind returns on the first alert radar. You can see this kind of staticky pattern. That's just sea salt and sea spray getting lofted up by the breezy trades and getting detected by the radar. And then the moisture's moving along the Ko'olau mountain range out there. And right now we're seeing a few sprinkles actually make their way over towards Wahiawa and a few sprinkles along the H2 out there. Kauai has been relatively dry over the last hour or so. Our surf and shoreline forecast, north and west facing shores. We did have a high surf advisory that was up for north and west facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, and Molokai. That has been expired. It was ending at noon today. East facing shores are also going to be on the decline as we're going into Friday morning because of the lighter trade winds we're expecting out there. Our swell forecast, a large swell moving in. We've got a weak front moving in going into Saturday and Sunday, so some energy coming in from the northwest. Another swell is going to be moving in as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday that's much larger, could likely trigger high surf advisories, potentially even high surf warnings. Here's our 7-day forecast. A few showers out there, breezy on Thursday and Friday. Again, we're still tracking that fire. Make sure to check back with us for the latest information.
Thank you, Drew. Well, still to come, the city is getting ready for its annual holiday festival of lights. Casey Lund has a preview in 2 minutes. It's a Honolulu holiday tradition. The lights, the parade, the tree lighting, it all returns next weekend.
Show Aloha Land and Honolulu City Lights are teaming up again this year and expanding well past Honolulu Hale. Casey Lund has more.
It's that time of year again. Tutu Mele Shaka Santa hanging out here in front of Honolulu Hale, just like I am. Sherry Kajiwara with us from the city and county. What a magical time, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, Casey, and isn't it amazing that these two never age?
No, they don't.
We're in our 41st year, and they look exactly the same,
They've
don't
been
they?
through so many things and so many years through COVID and challenging times. They've been here for us, though, and they bring so much joy. Just we've been here today, a week out from, or a little bit more than a week out from the tree lighting and all the fun for Honolulu City Lights. And there's already people stopping by. You see the keiki, taking pictures. It's a bright part of the holidays. Tell us about what's happening next Saturday. We have everything, block party. We're going big this year.
Yes, and the big thing about Friends of Honolulu City Lights works every year with our generous sponsors to be sure this is a free event for our island families, and we're going to try to keep it that way. So this year, we want them to know it starts a week earlier than normal, so November 29, as you mentioned, and we will start at 4 p.m. with a block party here on Punch Bowl.
Food, the popcorn, the
14
everything.
Food vendors, ice cream, lots of stuff to enjoy. 4 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, we invite you to join us for the tree lighting ceremony out here in front of Honolulu Hale.
Yeah, and one of the things, as somebody, as a transplant who moved here from the mainland, who came from a place where it snows a lot, and I was kind of bummed, you know, when my first Christmas out here. But when I came to Honolulu City Lights, if you feel like you're transported to a winter wonderland because you're surrounded by, I mean, you don't have to wear a coat. So it's really the best of both worlds.
Right, it's winter, but there's just no snow and no cold.
Yeah.
But we enjoy the holidays like everybody else.
We do. Anything else you want people to know safety-wise? I know that the city and HPD are making sure the traffic is taken care of. You know, it's going to be busy down here. Sholoha is the guiding principle, right?
Parking is always an issue, so you just go online and look for the available public parking, street parking. If you want to see the parade, a lot of people stand here right in front of City Hall. But if you make your way closer to A'ala Park, there's a lot better viewing spots, and make your way down here after the parade. When the parade ends, we're going to have an amazing concert this year, a 1-hour special by Henry Kapono and the Boys in the Band, and that's going to be fabulous.
For that. And the Royal Hawaiian Band, and you know, speaking of that, I want to talk a little bit about what's happening the day before on the Friday the 28th. Now that is where the folks from Show Aloha Land, and they have been partnering with the city and working to do their thing at Promise Square. It's also free. They have food vendors, so that's Friday night. 6 p.m. is when they do the lighting, and then there's not going to be any food vendors that night because they want everybody to go to the Blaisdell for that amazing concert with the Royal Hawaiian Band, which kicks off at 7. It's a chance to see them in a different light, not marching down the streets sweating for us like they do in the parades. It's kind of more relaxed. It's a Christmas vibe, and Henry Capono and others joining them for that really special evening. Dear, thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
what a wonderful time of year. If you missed any of that, go to hnlcitylights.com. We have all the information at our website as well, hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back to you for now.
Thank you, Case. I still can't believe next week is Thanksgiving.
I know.
And then it's Honolulu City Lights.
I know. I feel like this year we really jumped the gun on all the Christmas activities.
Right.
Everything's already Christmas. Thanksgiving is Thursday, guys. Let's get through Thanksgiving.